So if in your project we have defined more than some 50 policies, and client will say like for next 1 month, we are going to enable some policy. Some custom policy only. We have to check. No need to check every policy. So in that scenario, so they have some restriction, like saying some 10 policy only we have to check. Not other policies. In that scenario, we have another variable called OK. I think you can utilize this variable. I'm not sure 100%, but just try to play around with this variable. Okay. Here what you can do. You can add some custom object. Let me show you here. So we have object and called custom object. Here you can create some custom object inside that you can mention only 10 policy. What it will do? It will check only those 10 policies. It won't check remaining policies. Is it clear the requirement? The name of Veen. Yes. Yep. Yeah, so you can utilize this variable as well. Okay. So I was talking about the work item priority, right? Work item mandatory. Something will be there you can check. So that's all about policy. Yeah. We are checking this LCM provisioning. This is the name. I guess we gave this name right. Right, otherwise we are checking the workflow. They're going to be. The question is like we have policies like, for example, conflicting roles. We can have policies for conflicting entitlements and everything. But when we are setting up these things like whether it's failed, interactive, continue these all. So it will be for every policy. I mean, for example, if I do it for the role, so it will be for all conflicting roles. It's not like just these two conflicting roles. No, because it's going to be one policy for all role conflicts. It's going to be one policy for all entitlement conflicts, and so on. It will conflict. It will apply for all activity, policy upon policy. This policy, everything. Yeah, every policy for every section one policy. Right. All right. Okay. So the LCM provisioning will be applicable for every policy and every policy. So if you want to explain these things, I'll explain what is effective entitlement on policy risk policy. But I can say 30%, 40%. Only you are going to utilize based on the requirement, or else you can. You can complete their you can fulfill their requirement using these two only. So if you want me to explain, I'll explain about these things. But for every section, there is no case that for every section we have more than one policy. Every section will have one policy. You mean to say in role SOD? We are supposed to have only one policy. Is that you're saying? My question is in role SOD policy. We can have 2 or 3 policies under this section. Can we have it policy rule? You're talking about this policy rules, right? Yeah. So it says, create new rule. Okay, so new rule would be applicable to new set of entitlements. There can be another rule, right? Yeah, you can add it, but the policy will remain one. Yeah, right, yeah, but we can have only one policy, which will be called. So, in short, we can have 5 to 6 like policies, violation policies. And you'll have to. Definitely, there could be multiple rules, and all rules are kind of or rules right. They are going to be or okay. Thanks. So whenever the policy violation is going to trigger, you guys want to learn those things as well. Whenever policy violation is triggered, how you want to handle. So how the work item is going to generate. As an owner, as a manager, if you want, you can do it your end. Whenever the policy violation is going to trigger inside the work item, policy violation will be generated. Try to work around in your system. If you are able to, okay, then fine. Or else, if you ask me, tomorrow, I'll explain what is that, how we can proceed. Like this request violation is there. Policy violation is there. I'm not sure where you are going to end up with after this class. I mean in project. I'm saying whether you are going to working as administrator, developer, architect. I'm not sure. So these are the one usually I'll cover, since you guys are experienced. So that's the reason I'm asking. You want to explore more on this if you're in architect level. So you can explore more like how we can handle these situations. Okay. Just try to execute in your system. If you're okay, well and good. Or else let's come tomorrow. I'll cover, and apart from that we have discussed about role SOD and entitlement SOD. Apart from that, we have effective entitlement, SOD as well, and activity policy upon policy. Here effective entitlement, an advanced policy you are going to use whenever you couldn't achieve using this role, SOD and entitlement SOD. The requirement. If you couldn't fulfill using these, then you can wait for this effective and advanced. Risk policy and upon policy. It's quite simple.